Nigeria, welcome to Newsline. I am Becky Madajemo. I must say it's been a tough couple of weeks for us as a people. Never have we had such a nail-biting sitting at the edge of your seat period. It's all because of the deadly virus that has taken over many countries of the planet. Coronavirus is vicious, and we must cooperate with governments and health workers to end the spread in Nigeria. Now, Sunday last week, it was sorrow, tears and blood for some inhabitants of a settlement in the heart of Lagos mainland. An explosion which occurred in the morning of that day led to loss of lives and property. In the course of the week, we visited the scene and the updates will be presented. In the meantime, our left-handed viewers, give us a smile because we've got something in your defense. It's as captivating as a report that protects the interest of car owners. Then the myth about night markets. Should buying and selling in the dark be a scary venture? The responses will make you wonder and giggle. Before we hear the news by Elizabeth Omori, I would have you know that Newsline is set for a great outing. Please make yourself comfortable for what's to come. Take it from here, Lizzie.
Hello, Becky. It's nice to see you and welcome to the news segment of the program. Thanks for joining us. The coronavirus, since its debut in Nigeria since February, has risen from just the index case to 30 cases as at March 22, 2020, with 2 patients already discharged. Lagos tops the chart in cases with 22 diagnoses, followed by Abuja with 4 cases and Ogun State with 2 cases. Oyo and Ekiti states have 1 case each. Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu has directed all civil servants on grade level 1 to 12 to remain at home for the next 14 days as part of precautionary measures to curb the spread of the coronavirus. The governor gave the order while updating the media on the status of the virus in the states. Nosa Ursula reports that the governor confirmed that a total of 19 cases of the virus is in the states.
The directive of the governor, which will last for 14 days, at the first instance affects 70% of the entire state civil service. Governor Sanwo-Olu stated that the directive does not affect those on essential services and emergencies, which include safety agencies and emergency first responders. The governor added that the state government had taken proactive measures due to the threat of the virus, urging residents to practice high level of personal hygiene as they cooperate with his administration to address and curtail the spread of COVID-19 in the state.
This is not the time for fake news and unverified news, especially on the social media. Let me also appeal to the media community in its entirety to support the battle by helping amplify these various guidelines and advice of all the contact numbers that were set out.
The governor assured residents that well-equipped isolation centers have been set up in all 5 divisions of the state.
14 days at the minimum, self-isolate yourself if you have just come back from an international travel.
Sanwo-Olu explained that the state government is working on how to cushion and address the economic effects of the pandemic on residents, especially the less privileged in the states. In Lagos, Nosa Ursula, NTA News.
Still on containment of COVID-19, the Federal Capital Territory has recorded 1 new case of COVID-19, in addition to the 3 cases earlier reported on Saturday, March 21st, 2020, bringing the total number to 4. The Acting Secretary, FCT Health and Human Service Secretariat, Dr. Kau Mohammed, disclosed that the patient has been swiftly moved to the University of Abuja Teaching Hospital, Gwagwalada, for proper management. Hakimat Aliyu brings us an update.
The new confirmed case of COVID-19 in the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, is a man in his 40s who has recently traveled to the United Kingdom.
The family invited us that somebody has similar symptoms of cough, sneezing, upper respiratory infection, some difficulty in breathing. So we sent our team earlier, who now took samples, and the sample came positive.
He also noted that 39 cases were reported and tested in the FCT, while 4 were confirmed to be positive and others pending. To ascertain the condition of the new case and the earlier reported 3 cases, the crew proceeded to the University of Abuja Teaching Hospital, Gwagwalada. Behind me is the isolation center at the University of Abuja Teaching Hospital, Gwagwalada, where the 4 confirmed cases of COVID-19 are currently being managed. All efforts to speak to the specialists proved abortive as they are busy attending to the patients. Meanwhile, the inaugurated FCT emergency response team with different committees for contact tracing, testing and monitoring says they are working assiduously to ensure no effort is spared in containing the spread of the dreaded coronavirus disease. In Abuja, Hakimat Aliu, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the COVID-19 confirmation test for the suspected case at Abuja has come back positive following the release of the result of March 21, 2020. Oyo State public health officials are collaborating with the University College Hospital UCH team on the case. Fatima Umar Buba has details on efforts by some state authorities to contain the virus.
An update released by the Oyo State COVID-19 Task Force reveals that a follow-up on the Ekiti COVID-19 case reveals that the deceased was picked up directly from Lagos Airport to a private apartment in Ono-Ara local government area in Oyo State. And to that end, contact tracing has begun and identified close contacts are on self-isolation. Another returnee from Texas, United States of America, identified at Oluyole local government area, has been kept in self-isolation with close monitoring. From Calabar, Paul Abel reports that the Cross River State government is leaving nothing to chance, and as such, it is educating and sensitizing all residents in the state on prevention of the dreaded disease. The awareness team, made up of health experts, was well received of the House of Fulani and Muslim community in the state.
We do not have any suspected or confirmed case of COVID-19 in Cross River State, and our sensitization can never be complete except we come to these communities and inform them of how best they can protect themselves.
And in the Federal Capital Territory, Shoaibu Onoze Yakubu reports that the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Mohammed Musa Bello, has inaugurated an emergency response team. Meanwhile, the Bayelsa Ministry of Health has debunked the rumor of suspected COVID-19 cases in the state, allegedly involving a South Korea returnee in Odoni community and an American returnee in University of Africa, Toru Orwa. As part of further steps to prevent the spread of the virus in Bayelsa State, the state governor is heading the Prevention Response Committee. Still on containing COVID-19, Katsina State government says it is providing adequate funding for the State Ministry of Health to ensure that hospitals are fully equipped to contain the spread of coronavirus pandemic in the state. The governor said, at present, the state government is building an emergency infectious ward at General Amadi Rimi Special Hospital. This is in addition to the construction of a temporary isolation center at Katsina State General Hospital. In the meantime, Bauchi State government has directed for the closure of institutions of learning across the state.
That restricted congregations should be observed by all religious bodies, especially the Muslim Ummah, in consonance with what is happening globally from Saudi Arabia, from Iran and everywhere, even in the country. so that not more than 50 will be gathered, but where necessary, people from other localities, other sections of the towns or the local government should not go for congregation in other places, so that we restrict the movement.
From Monday, 23rd of March, 2020.
Let's now take you to Katsina State, where the Dara Emirate has suspended Islamia and Quranic school sessions. Emir of Dara Alhaji Umar Farooq Umar announced the decision during a prayer session held on coronavirus in his palace. Correspondent Shehu Adamu has details.
The prayer session, which had in attendance all the district heads, village and ward heads, as well as imams within the Dara Emirate, seeks for God's intervention against the spread of coronavirus pandemic. Emir of Dara Umar Farooq Umar directed the immediate closure of all Quranic and Islamia schools within the Emirate as part of measures to protecting his subjects from COVID-19. The Emir therefore called on his subjects to always practice personal and environmental hygiene as preventive measures against the pandemic. Special Assistant to the Emir of Daura, Ibrahim Hamis, will shed more light on the Emir's directive.
The Emir actually told all these people he gathered in his palace is how to avoid or how to protect ourselves from the scourge of COVID-19.
Some of the Islamic scholars at the prayer session, including Imam Abdulaziz Abubakar Sabon Kwari and Amina Abubakar, justified the Emir's directive, quoting relevant verses and teachings of Prophet Muhammad, where Muslims are requested to take necessary measures to guard against the spread of any pandemic. In Katsina, Shehu Adamu, NTA News.
Still on COVID-19, the Inspector General of Police, Mohammed Abubakar Adamu, has directed all Zonal Assistant Inspectors General of Police and Commissioners of Police nationwide to ensure that all legitimate orders given in pursuant of their containment efforts are strictly enforced within their areas of jurisdiction. In a statement by Police, Force Public Relations Officer Frank Omba, the IGP urged officers to observe personal safety measures, also directed the zonal AIGs and command CPs to ensure that cases of unnecessary arrest and detention of suspects are not condoned. He emphasized that detention of suspects must be reduced to the barest minimum and that only very serious cases such as terrorism, armed robbery, homicide and other non-bailable offenses should warrant detention. The IGP also directed that adequate measures be put in place to screen persons to be committed into police custody. He enjoined citizens to avoid social visits to police stations and other police offices and minimize official visits except when necessary. The IGP has also ordered the immediate closure of the Niger Police Academy as well as all police primary and secondary schools nationwide. Meanwhile, the police medical services has been empowered and directed to step up sensitization programs across commands, formations and barracks in the country. The International Press Center, IPC Nigeria, has called on media proprietors to provide journalists covering the COVID-19 pandemic in Nigeria with necessary protective gadgets and medications where required. In a message by the Communications Officer, IPC Olutoyin Ayuade, Executive Director of IPC, Mr. Larry Arogundade, said, journalists are professionals always on duty even during crisis, as we have currently, should be given high priority in terms of safety. The IPC wants journalists to be provided with adequate protective wears, hand sanitizers, and if possible, placed on a special insurance package. Arogundade also advised journalists to adhere to all the health tips to avoid COVID-19 infection as outlined by global health bodies and national health institutions while exercising professionalism and ensure facts are checked to mitigate the spread of false or misleading information. As COVID-19 continues to rampage, Primate of the Church of Nigeria Anglican Communion advocates greater attention on rural areas to avoid an escalation. The Primate Most Reverend Nicholas Oko gave the advice in Abuja at a service to commemorate his retirement. Victor Azu reports.
It is an uncharacteristically scanty service at the Cathedral Church of the Advent. Worse still, it is the last for Nicholas Oko as Primate of the Church of Nigeria. But desperate times call for desperate measures. This service is restricted in compliance with the advice of health authorities and the FCTA. Notwithstanding, the need for Thanksgiving is not lost on Primate Oko after a successful 10-year tenure. Afterwards, he weighs in on the coronavirus pandemic, calling for more support for rural areas.
While the government is doing everything in the urban centers to monitor what's going on, efforts should be made by the Ministry of Health to ensure that the rural areas are well policed and looked after to avoid an outbreak in the rural areas.
The countdown begins to Wednesday when a new primate will be inaugurated. In Abuja, Victor Azu, NTA News.
In the meantime, Buhari Media Organization says those calling for the president to address the nation on the COVID-19 pandemic should consider the worth of a television address against getting the country prepared for the fallout of the pandemic. The media organization, in a statement, cautions that getting the country prepared to prevent the spread of the pandemic in the country should take priority over presidential address. The group says that strengthening Nigeria's institutions and taking the necessary steps to bolster the country's preparedness socially and economically should take priority, and adds that President Buhari's administration has taken critical steps to ensure it contains the spread and prevent entry of the pandemic into the country. Just a few days back, the Lagos State government pronounced a ban on any public gathering exceeding 50 persons. The figure was further reduced to 20. What is the level of adherence, especially by churches, this was Sunday after the implementation of the ban? Adjola Akoni Akere went round and brought back this report.
Available statistics indicate that the coronavirus death rate is on the increase globally, while it shows that the older generation are worse hit. Therefore, more attention is now on preventive and precautionary measures to reduce the spread of the virus. And today being Sunday, we decided to go around some churches in the Lagos metropolis to find out how they were able to take care of their parishioners or their members. I am now at the Holy Cross Cathedral in Lagos. Reverend Father Marcelinus Teko, the administrator of the church, and he will be letting us know how the service went this Sunday.
The Archbishop, Most Reverend Dr. Alfred Adewale Martins, issued a directive that all public masses should be suspended for now. So in all Catholic churches today, no public masses were celebrated.
How was the adherence by the Anglican faithful?
The church authority also directed us that we should comply with the rules.
From the foregoing, it therefore shows that Lagosians are desirous to see that this novel coronavirus pandemic comes to an end for life to return to normal for this ever-busy metropolitan city. In Lagos, Adeola Komi Akere, NTA News.
Following the recent confirmation of new cases of COVID-19, there has been panic buying in the country. NTA Fineface will give us a situation report.
Well, thank you, studios. I'm here in one of the major shops in Abuja, in the central district of Abuja. It's late in the night. Customers are still out in their numbers shopping for what they seem the rainy days. Now, against some of the claims that people were making their shoppings just as a regular routine, these ones say they are out here to stock up for the days when they may not be able to go out as expected. I have one of them here who also share with me why he thinks it's so important for him to stock his place. Can you start by telling me your name, sir?
Okay, my name is Mohamed Sufyan. I'm a resident here in Abuja. Basically, like me and my brothers, we just came here just to stock up the house, just in case an order comes, okay, to find nobody's allowed to go out anymore, so nobody will just be caught unaware. Basically, what we are here to just get is just basic amenities that we need in the house: foods, waters, hand sanitizers, nose masks, and maybe hand sanitizers and other stuff like that, so that maybe hunger won't, instead of the coronavirus getting us in the house, hunger won't eventually kill us in the house.
Well, from your experience and previous experience shopping from this particular mall, would you say that the prices are stable, or is there any difference?
For now, the prices are still stable, but as you can see, if you take a wild look, the stocks are actually running out. So we are hoping, we know that, okay, to find maybe from next week, coming up next month, the prices are actually going to skyrocket, because this is, I think they are all making business, and these are times, okay, fine, for them to make little profits out of the COVID-19 epidemic.
Really, I'm here because of the pandemic, COVID-19, you know. It's everywhere now, and it's for real, so I don't know what will happen tomorrow. I need to stock my home appropriately, and my kids are back from school, so it's a full house with everybody trying to see what will happen next. But we hope for the best. We hope that God will help us through this trying period.
My name is Nafiu Kabir Adam. I'm one of the customer care representative here at Central Area. That is my name.
So can you explain to me how your business has been so far, bearing in mind the fact that people are engaging in some kind of panic buying?
Yes, honestly, really, things change here. How we used to welcome our customers before and how we used to see them coming. This time around, having this coronavirus information, it's like people are panic, and the way they used to come is higher than how they used to come before, honestly. As you can see, even by this time before, the customers are reducing, but you can see we close by 9, but up till now, evening time, they are still rushing in, and if you see our car park, everywhere is filled up, especially when they come in at the ground floor here where we display our food items. That is where the people are much, and this first floor where we have our hand sanitizer and other toiletries.
Thank you very much. Well, this particular shop also has provision for people coming in to have their hands sanitized. But then it's also instructive to note that the federal government has again and again said it that Nigerians should not panic, but simply adhere to precautionary measures put in place by relevant agencies of government. So that's the situation here from Abuja.
Into other stories, the federal government has called on all political actors and other stakeholders in the Republic of Guinea to refrain from violence and commit to an inclusive, transparent, free and fair election to consolidate peace and stability in the country. A statement by the spokesman of the Nigerian Foreign Affairs Ministry, Ferdinand Moui, says Nigeria has observed with keen interest recent political developments in the Republic of Guinea and believes that West Africa, despite some security challenges, has made a great deal of progress in consolidating the democratic gains in the sub-region. The federal government of Nigeria appeals to the people of Guinea to provide required enabling environment for democracy to thrive through the resolution of all internal challenges. As the world observes this year's Water Day, issues of personal hygiene, provision of clean water to the populace and sanitation are topmost on the campaign. Water experts say addressing these issues are essential to containing the spread of infectious diseases in the country. Musbaut Danwahab reports.
This is Lake Chad, a one-time largest body of water in Africa. But sorry, Lake Chad is almost bidding farewell to its glory. The water basin of hitherto 25,000 square kilometers has lost about 90% of its original size, and so too is the source of socio-economic life of about 30 million people along its banks in Cameroon, Chad, Niger and Nigeria. No thanks partly to climate change. The efforts of Nigeria and other riparian countries and their call for attention have found echoes in this year's theme of the World Water Day, water and climate change.
Water is very paramount to human health care. Everybody should be careful because of the spread of coronavirus. I won't talk about climate change, but the issue on coronavirus is very important, that even in the rural area, they are more vulnerable.
We're promoting hydropower. We're also
Going forward, most of our water schemes are solar, so that we reduce the burning of fossil fuel.
Here, at the Durumi camp of internally displaced persons, IDPs, in Abuja, the impact of climate change is not yet felt, but a seeming situation of water stress. The population of more than 2,800 people here is overwhelming this water facility put in place for them by a helping hand.
The area is big and the population is big. Another area we have a challenge is the health sector, because people defecate in the open bush.
Outside the camp, the reality captured in a World Bank report is that access to piped water service, put at 32% in 1990, dropped to about 7% in 2015. And as the 2030 SDGs targets draw closer, the Federal Ministry of Water Resources believes its various programs and policies at mobilizing stakeholders can turn the tide.
We are working with all the states to implement that National Wash Action Plan, and I believe when that Wash Action Plan is implemented, we should be able to meet the targets of Sustainable Development Goals by 2030.
While water experts and stakeholders continue to clamor for measures to mitigate the effect of climate change around the world, the United Nations wants the people to be united in the proper use and management of the available waters. In Abuja, Musbau and Wahab, NC News.
Away from water and sanitation, the West African Ceramics Company in Ajaokuta, Kogi State considers the provision of infrastructure as crucial to the development of its host community. As part of its corporate social responsibility, Charles Alpha reports that in pursuant of this, the company embarked on the rehabilitation of the Ajaokuta-Itobe Road and other essential amenities for its host community.
The West African Ceramics, situated in Ajaokuta, Kogi State, is engaged in the production and export of tiles and marbles to African countries and beyond in a bid to ameliorate the heavy traffics and pains motorists and passengers go through along the Geregu-Itobe Road, embarked on the refilling of dangerous portion of the road ahead of the rainy season. This is in addition to the reconstruction of Ofunene Ajaokuta Road, construction of the Ascot Bridge and drainage system to control the heavy erosion which rendered the road impassable.
Day to here, we take 2 hours, 3 hours, but now 30 minutes we don't pass.
Aside road rehabilitation, the West African Ceramics has provided a transformer and cable lines, built a church, a mosque, and supplied tiles and marble for the renovation of schools and mosques in Geregu Camp and Ajaokuta Township area.
They really tried for us in this community.
We are very happy for what the ceramics have done for us.
Water, they say, is life. The West African Ceramic Limited has provided water tanker which supplies potable water to the villages.
We've given scholarships to students, close to 500 students, to encourage them to also go to school. We have employed close to between 3,000 and 3,500 Nigerians working in the factory.
Once you grow, then you're supposed to take care of around you. They're supposed to grow like you.
The company and served as source of revenue to the Kogi State government. From Ajaokuta, Kogi State, Charles Alpha, NTN News.
And in other news, the Nigerian Army has upscaled its map reading capacity through the introduction of advanced navigational tool to enhance troops' knowledge of this device capable of promoting accuracy in navigation. The Nigerian Army Guards Brigade Garrison organized the first quarter inter-unit map reading competition for its troops. Defense correspondent Ismail Musa has details.
Maps are symbolic depiction emphasizing the relationship between elements of space, location and climatic features. In the military, maps are a critical component of any given operation, as it provides the necessary guide to enhance combat and rapid response to internal and external threats. Following advancement in technology aimed at ensuring accuracy and speed in the interpretation of maps, the Nigerian Army introduced the Global Positioning System, GPS.
It is a general observation that only a few personnel of the Nigerian Army are conversant with the use of this device. It is on this premise that this map reading exercise has become necessary in line with the Chief of Army Staff's vision of having a professionally responsive Nigerian Army in the discharge of its constitutional roles.
The 177 Guards Battalion KEFI won the competition, which is in line with the Guards Brigade Focal Training Directives for the year 2020. In Abuja, Ismail Musa, NTA News.
And the Nigerian Air Force has inaugurated projects in Kano aimed at building capacity and ensuring quick response to emergencies. Mohammed Rabiu Ali reports.
The Chief of the Air Staff deemed it fit to provide a befitting accommodation for those attending to emergency services.
On behalf of the Chief of Air Staff, Air Marshal Sadiq Baba Abubakar, declare this complex open. God bless.
I am optimistic that this project, if properly managed, will greatly ameliorate the accommodation deficiency being experienced by personnel of the hospital. This will in turn galvanize effort of the hospital personnel to focus on their tasks.
Before now, we send ambulances to pick some of our specialists on duty living in town to attend to emergency cases, which creates delay. The Chief of Air Staff deemed it fit to provide these 2 blocks of flat for this group of specialists handling emergencies.
Air Marshal Abubakar therefore urged the beneficiaries to judiciously make use of the facility. Muhammad Rabiu Ali, NTA News.
The immediate past GMD of the NNPC, Mekanti Barrow, has emerged the leadership newspaper CEO of the year 2019. To identify with one of your own, the NNPC management graced the 2020 edition of the annual event in Abuja. Leader Samson reports.
It is often said that the good men do lives after them, and this saying resonates with the honor bestowed on Mekanti Barrow, still celebrated even in retirement. A first-class student, Barrow distinguished himself in his career at the NNPC, rising to the very peak as the group managing director. Despite the numerous awards the immediate past NNPC boss has to his name, the latest from the leadership newspapers, he said, is particularly touching for him.
It is going to re-engender people to walk and put in their best and see that the nation benefits, the economy benefits. Even those in the private sector could be open to this. So it really builds up a lot of hope for people.
Mekanti Barrow is one out of 22 award recipients, including corporate organizations and individuals honored in the 2019 Leadership Award. For the current NNPC GMD, Mele Kolo Kyari, the exemplary leadership quality of his predecessor is worthy of emulation.
He has remained a symbol of encouragement, of quality, of efficiency, which we try to imbibe, and we do our utmost to make sure that we deliver on tasks that is left for us to handle the stuff, but we'll do our best. And for the rest of the recipients, yes, we recognize you today, but this country needs all of us again.
He called for more resilient leaders, especially as the world battles contemporary challenges like the COVID-19 with grave consequences for the oil and gas industry. In Abuja, Lydia Sampson, NTA News.
Talking sports now, COVID-19 takes another toll on sports with 2 deaths. Amanza Marcos brings us details of these and other stories on Sports Updates.
As the coronavirus pandemic takes its toll around the world, a group of athletes are calling for postponement of the 24 July to 9 August Tokyo Olympics until COVID-19 is brought under control. British 2016 Rio Olympic cycling champion Callum Skinner, who is the face of the athlete-led movement, says public health must be a priority over sporting events. Campaigning with the name of global athlete, Great Britain's Ali Jawad, who won silver in para-powerlifting at the Rio Paralympics, added that the 25 August to 6 September Paralympics be equally postponed, emphasizing that they have consulted hundreds of athletes around the world before making their statements public. Meanwhile, football stakeholders in Nigeria are mourning the passing away of yet another footballer who died on Sunday in a car accident along Onisha-Agbo Benin Highway. Ifeanyi George, a striker of Rangers International Football Club of Enugu, was driving his own car and ran into a parked articulated truck on their way to Lagos in view of the 10 days break given by the club because of coronavirus. Reports indicate 2 other occupants of the vehicle are receiving treatment as club chairman Davidson Omi mourns the loss. Ifeanyi George's death comes within 1 month that Tiamiyu Kazim of Remo Stars was killed by a vehicle, while Nasarawa United's Chineme Martins passed on in the field of play in Lafia. In a related development, more people are dying around the world directly as a consequence of the coronavirus pandemic, and one of them is Lorenzo Sanz, former president of Real Madrid Football Club of Spain. He spent 8 days at home with fever and later tested positive to the virus in hospital where he died. Aged 76, Sanz was president between 1995 and 2000, during which the club won 2 UEFA Champions League trophies amongst others. With sports update, Manzi Marcus, NTA News.
And next is a look at the weather picture for tomorrow, Monday. And that ends the news segment of the program. Becky will be back with more reports for you. Stay on the line.
You can choose to do this with your stew, but not your data. Get more out of life with the new Airtel data plans. Dial *141# today. Data is life.
Airtel, the smartphone network. Amazing Bluetooth, gripping 4K, high-def satellite receiver, vibrant colors, make you feel truly immersed in the action. Omaha Television, inspired by you. Power outages have become part of our lives, and life can be a nightmare without power. That's why, now more than ever, you need to take control of your life with Omaha Portables.
The power output of every Omaha generator is exactly as stated in its power rating.
As long as there's Omaha, your home will have the reliable power you thoroughly deserve.
Omaha generator gives us peace of mind because it never fails us.
Omaha Portable Generators, inspired by you.
Welcome to our wonderful world of data with these incredible new offers from your #1 4G network nationwide. Glow Unlimited.
Africa is a land of opportunities. There's no better time to be and become an entrepreneur in Africa.
When I got my seed capital, it was just an idea. I didn't even have a business. There was no happy coffee.
Right now, we are employing 22 young people.
De recevoir le financement qui m'a aidé à démarrer cette activité et aider beaucoup.
Having been an entrepreneur myself, let me help to create more. That is the driving force behind the Tony Melo Foundation. No one but us will develop Africa. We need to look inward to see how we can share prosperity.
The future of Africa is in your hands.
Of travel restriction measures taken by the federal government to contain and manage the spread of COVID-19 on Wednesday, 18th March 2020. The Presidential Task Force has, as part of the continuing engagement with members of the public, found it necessary to provide answers to the following frequently asked questions.
What is restricted entry?
It means you are not allowed into the country if you live in or have visited these countries in the last 14 days.
As a Nigerian returning home, does restricted entry apply to me?
No. You will be allowed into Nigeria, but subject yourself to supervised self-isolation for 14 days after arrival.
As a diplomat, does restricted entry affect me?
No. You will be allowed into Nigeria, but subject to supervised self-isolation for 14 days after arrival.
I am resident in Nigeria, but hold a foreign passport. Does restricted entry affect me?
No. You will be allowed into Nigeria, but subject to supervised self-isolation for 14 days after arrival.
I'll be transiting through one of the 15 countries to get into Nigeria. Does restricted entry affect me?
Yes. If you have been to any of the countries mentioned, you will not be allowed into Nigeria except you are a returning Nigerian, resident, or diplomat.
When does this come into effect?
Saturday, 21st March 2020. The task force wishes to encourage members of the public to furnish or seek information and clarification through the COVID PTF NCDC 247 helpline number 080-097-000010. Presidential Task Force on COVID-19. Announcer.
Thanks for staying with us. March 15, 2020 would best be described as a Black Sunday Lagosians will never forget. On that fateful day, a massive explosion rocked Abuja, one of the communities in Amuwo Odofin local government area of Lagos State. The calamity claimed several lives, throwing many into mourning and despair. Jennifer Igwe, who has been monitoring events as they unfold, reports that the disaster is a wake-up call for effective safety, adequate security, and deliberate urban planning.
Days after the Abuja Soba disaster that killed about 20 people and affected over 100 houses, residents are still trying to make sense of what happened.
I was like, what is happening? Before you know it, the fence started coming up and I jumped the fence to the other side. I couldn't even jump. It was somebody that raised one of my leg up for me to drop on the other side. The explosion just took off with full force and then threw me behind. But I managed to stand up. You know, if you are running a race of life, you can't wait.
For most residents, it was more like a scene in a horror movie. And unfortunately, many of them featured real life with dramatic experiences that give goosebumps.
It was as if they poured fuel all over the room. The explosion took place and I put on complete suit with a white top. Then the thing tripped me naked. I just saw myself on the ground with the boxer and a singlet. I didn't see any pieces of my clothes. When I stood up, I was just pouring out blood from my mouth and blood was just coming out from my ears. So I think that has stopped, but what is happening now, if I cough, a thick black blood will come out and all of that, and I'm feeling pain here and I can't hear properly, it's not clear.
Adama Ogbonna, a businesswoman, and many others lament at their financial losses and medical bills.
I spent almost 60,000 so far, but the receipts are here. My car, everything, I didn't hold anything in hand, nothing. From here, and I don't know where I'm going.
Meanwhile, Monsieur Jerome Oduton, Director Education for the Catholic Archdiocese of Lagos, has debunked news on the social media that many students of Bethlehem Girls High School were killed. He confirmed, however, that the school's principal and a few staff lost their lives.
Some of them sustained injuries that we had to take to the hospitals, so we got them treated. They have been discharged, but 3 are still at the hospitals.
The Lagos State government has set up a 2 billion naira Abuja Soba Relief Fund. It has put 250 million naira into it already. Federal government is also supporting efforts by the state to alleviate the plight of the victims. The Governors Forum has visited the site of the disaster and contributed 200 million naira to the relief fund.
We need to reassure our people, instill hope in them, and let them realize that we will do everything within our powers as the elected officials of the Nigerian state to really minimize as much as possible what could have been an irretrievable disaster in the wake of the COVID-19 infection in the country. So,
walking around the disaster area, I observed something worrisome: the closeness of the pipeline in the area to some of the building.
It's a massive city, it's a big city. I can tell you quite a number of them too might not have building approval. So it's an opportunity for us to do the entire scope of what is right and what is proper.
At the point that the people are now is not to bring in sledgehammer and demolish the building before them and let them lose everything before they are fall high. But the government should use this as a means of compensating the people.
The Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, NNPC, says the Abuja Soba disaster was as a result of gas explosion which occurred after a truck hit some gas cylinders stacked in a gas processing plant located near the corporation's System 2B pipeline right-of-way.
A painful incident with a sad aftermath. Our prayers are with the victims and their families. The coming report could make you cry. It's about 3 siblings who are blind. Of course, it can be easy for that family, but their father, who happens to be a 40-year-old hard worker, is determined to give them the best education in order for them to have a comfortable future. From Kano, Yohanasu Hassan Barau reports.
Bringing up a child is hard enough for any family, and for parents of child with special needs, worries about their future can be overwhelming. And not only is 3 times more expensive to raise a child with disability, their parents too often lack functional and professional support needed to raise this group of children. All these challenges put together are more for the family of Awole Dauda, a 42-year-old petty trader, and his 30-year-old wife Zainab, who out of the 6 children the family is blessed with, 3 are visually impaired. 11-year-old sightless Zakiya and her 7-year-old youngest sibling were born blind, while her immediate younger brother Salisu went blind 2 years after he was born. According to their parents, no medical explanation has been preferred for their condition, even after several visits to notable health institutions in the state.
Taking care of these children has not been so easy, but I take them as every child, and God will provide us with means of taking care of them.
Apart from grappling with the emotional impact of fear and worry of the sightless children, pains and suffering, this mother of 6 had assumed full housewife to give them care, leaving their father with the burden of providing for the family needs, both financially and otherwise. Determined to give his best to secure their future within the limited resources, Dauda abandons every other thing that matters and covers a distance of 50 kilometers daily on motorcycle from his place of abode in Gezawa to Tudun Maliki Special School.
We face a lot of challenges. Sometimes when my motorcycle is faulty, I spend 500 naira to 700 naira to take them to school. When I didn't have enough money, I stay at home.
I became a lecturer after my school.
Umma Muhammad is the vice principal of Tudun Maliki Special School.
Never and ever seen a father like him. I want the philanthropics or government to help him.
So spare a thought today and make the dreams of these children with special need come to fruition.
A great dad, and I must say that family needs love and support, and it can come from all of us. Now the following questions are for parents. How often do you have one-on-one interactions with your children or wards? Do you care to know what they do out there? Are you quick to notice new habits and peculiar behavior? If you ticked yes to all questions, then you are saving the future generation. If no, then you need to be more proactive in the mission to eradicate social vices. Otebe Achibong will now examine the factors that predispose children to social vices and the role parents must play to set them on the right path.
Cultism is a social or religious group whose beliefs are individualistic, secret and esoteric, popularly called secret cults. Cultism also can be said to be an organization which people come together to pledge their allegiances under an oath and have a social bond of commitment and dedication for the good of the organization. Dated back to as far as 1952, cultism started when the Nobel Laurel Prize winner, Professor Oluwole Soyinka, and 6 others formed the Pirate Confraternity. The pioneer members then said the group was majorly to fight for human rights, devoid of any evil intention. The case, however, is different today, as people both young and old who belong to this secret cult have tilted towards negative tendencies. Some parents who spoke on the roles they should play towards ensuring that their words keep away from the social vice say strict disciplinary measures, proper supervision, attention and care are some of the ways to keep the children in check.
Most parents now don't take care of their children. They don't have time with the children anymore. Most of them go out early in the morning, come back late in the night. They don't even know what the children go through and the kind of peer groups they mix with. So I think first of all, the parents should learn how to have time for their own children and find out what they are doing and even what they are doing in school.
The way we beat our wives, the way we quarrel with our husbands, what we say in our homes, our children are there watching. Sometimes they may not get interested. They may be frustrated with our attitude. And you get them into a wrong personality.
On why some children today, even at the primary and secondary school level, seek to explore this world of ignorance, these parents and others say could be attributed to peer pressure and influence, poor parenting background, quest for power and protection, poverty, and many others. What then is the way forward?
Parents should ensure that they introduce their children in the way of God. That is the basis. Because at some point when these children will be leaving the houses to either schools, most of them who are boarders, the parents may not be there.
To curb the menace of cultism, it is believed that if all hands are joined together by checking the activities of the younger ones, cultism can be drastically reduced, if not completely eradicated.
Just to add, a wise man once said, it's always better to train up a child than to fix an adult. Very apt saying today. Let's go on a short break. More stories shortly.
So, you now want to pick my call?
Then bomb me where? Mommy of life. Final, mommy.
Where my car?
Mommy, that's what things remain.
If my car not ready for tomorrow, me and you go put legs inside one trouser. One lie.
That was my phone. Yes, ma. Yes, ma. Yes,
look, not on this phone, no. All right, yes, ma.
Hey, Magel,
Kini.
Mommy, no be you. Don't waste your credit. When I finish, I go call.
You call me. Me when my middle name na credit. Where Glow they give me boku.
Glow and Mebo. Get 5 times your recharge to call all networks. Recharge with *555* *PIN#.
Just talk people. I beg, give me my phone, make I go, Joe. Talon so talk here.
Introducing NNPC Lubricants. Superior quality engine lubricants for better efficiency. From the trusted stable of NNPC Retail. NNPC Lubricants, made to the highest standards with the best intentions for your engine. NNPC Lubricants, available in all NNPC outlets and other accredited dealers nationwide. NNPC Lubricant, not my papa born me.
You gotta have a smile, no matter what it takes. Gotta take pure bliss now. I love the way it tastes. Feel the pure bliss burst from the toes to your face. Gotta take pure bliss now. Feel the bliss today. Say oh. Gotta take feel the bliss today.
Light up your day with Pure Bliss milk cookies. Also available Pure Bliss milk cream wafers and rich cocoa biscuits.
Chowder, non-stop. Non-stop chowder. Let's go.
Stop. They are germs. You will fall sick. Daughter, why don't you stop them?
Mom, stopping the kids from playing stops the learning. That's why we stop the germs.
Indeed, Safeguard fights against germs. Safeguard removes 99% of germs.
Why don't you stop them? We have to stop. Not the kids, but...
You heard them yourselves, folks. Thousands of fans from across Nigeria have come together to witness the global phenomenon. It's the artist ruling the airwaves, the one with a voice that makes the continent dance. Brace yourself for a performer like no other. Ladies and gentlemen, it's the sensational top vocalist of this generation. It's the legend. It's it's you. You watching. You are the yellow star the world is waiting for. So hurry, register now. MTN Yellow Star needs you. Sign up to audition your way to becoming the first yellow star. You stand a chance of winning 1 year recording contract, a fully furnished house with an in-house studio, a brand new car, and so much more.
Yellow Star. Everywhere you go, MTN. Refresh your confidence with the liquid filling of a Center Fresh gum. Center Fresh. Trust the freshness.
Introducing the new Nivea Dry Impact and Dry Comfort Deodorant. Now with quick dry effect and longer lasting fragrance. Guaranteed to keep you feeling dry and fresh all day. Proven 48-hour protection and longer lasting fragrance from Nivea.
Never get caught unfresh with the new Nivea Dry Fresh Deodorants.
Nigerians, coronavirus is dangerous. It can kill. When you see this sign, high fever, cough, shortness of breath, drowsiness, pneumonia, don't panic, don't hide, don't embark in self-medication. Promptly visit the nearest medical facility. Report all cases to the nearest hospital. Prevention is key. Avoid contact with infected persons. Avoid crowded areas as much as possible. Wash your hands regularly. Use hand sanitizers. Your life is precious. Stay alive. Live long, live right. This message is sponsored by the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture and the Nigerian Film Corporation. Nigerian Film Corporation, powering possibilities.
Introducing NNPC lubricants. Superior quality engine lubricants for better efficiency. From the trusted stable of NNPC Retail. NNPC lubricants made to the highest standards with the best intentions for your engine. NNPC lubricants available in all NNPC outlets and other accredited dealers nationwide. NNPC lubricant. Not my papa Bonnie. From Chivita, the home of your trusted juice and refreshment brand in Nigeria, comes another first. Introducing the new cool Chivita in can. Enjoy the same great taste.
Many thanks for staying put. And now to a friendly debate. Presentation of gifts is one of the many ways people express love and appreciation. Truth is, we all mostly love to receive presents. However, Daniel Aderie is asking if wealthy people are deserving of tangible gifts. Let's hear the opinions.
From simple gifts like flowers to big ones like a house or car, there is no limit to the category of gifts anyone can receive or give, so long as it is something the person can afford to give and be happy to receive. Now, this particular discourse beams the searchlight on the rich and high class, whom some believe don't need gifts because they are wealthy enough to afford all they need and all the luxuries of life. But is that really the narrative with wealthy individuals? And do they or do they not deserve gifts, no matter how rich they are?
Man's greatest desire is to be appreciated, and people crave for appreciation. Most people you see that you call rich are lonely in the real sense of it, because they actually, as they grow and get richer, they get alienated from normal things that people do, and because of that they crave back to wanting to get what they don't have.
We shouldn't believe that because they can get everything they want, then they shouldn't be given any gifts. It's
quite unfair when you think that way, really. So it's not in how expensive the gift they're getting is, it's not in how flamboyant it is, but it's in the value, in that appreciation, that feeling they get when they know that someone appreciated me enough to get this for me.
Oh, hi there. Please do not mind me. I was actually trying to put a little something together for my friend. Obviously, a gift. Now, Nigeria is a society grouped into 4 main categories. And that's the high class, which is the upper class, the middle upper class, the middle lower class, and lastly, the lower class. Now, based on this, I thought it fit to at least go out and talk with these categories of people whom we are discussing about, at least to hear and understand what they think about this topic of discourse. And you can be sure Nigerians had a lot to say about this.
I think everybody deserves a gift. Everybody deserves a gift because it's something you don't work for. No matter how you think they are rich, they also expect you to do good to them. And giving a rich person a gift is like connecting to the person's wealth.
I don't think they do. Besides, they have all they need when it comes to material things. So, and I think gifts should be restricted to material things. So, if they have all they need, so why would you want to give them something? They should be the one giving.
In the holy books, it wasn't categorically stated which classes of people deserved gifts. So if we are to adopt this narrative, not just the rich, but all classes of people deserve gifts, no matter how big or small, rich or poor they are. But in the end, experts say it is the thought that matters.
I'm afraid the jury will remain out on that one. Let's proceed. Now, as a child, I was told that night markets were meeting points for spirits who want to mingle with the living. Now that Abuja is witnessing a resurgence of night markets, could there be spirits hovering around traders and buyers? Oyinaya Kalu Oka reports.
Abuja at night is calm and peaceful, less noise, less vehicular movements. Well, I guess you're wondering what I'm doing out here at the time of the day. I'm getting set to go to the night market. Night markets in Africa are usually with the spirits and humans. Whether that myth is true or not, why don't you join me as we explore the Abuja night market? From a distance, one will notice the tiny flicks of light. Getting closer, the picture becomes clearer. Beckoning for customers, haggling of price, serious trading is taking place here. It is a night market. Night markets are springing up in Abuja in different available spaces. The crew visited 3 of such markets. First spot of call by 9:45 p.m. was the Area 1 shopping complex open air markets. Array of locally grilled meat.
We did plenty. We go reach like 50 people in Selkidishi. Many customers, they come back from the office, they come by.
Abin da yasa muke zuwa muke siyan kilishi da daddare na farko babu gosulo. Sometimes mun ga ko mota ka taho za ga gosulo yayi yawa, amma da daddare akwai saukin gosulo.
Night market is very interesting and profitable.
Although this market at Area 1 opens during the day, activities at night is at its peak. From 5 p.m. till 12 midnight, the place bubbles with buying and selling at the makeshift shops with different goods.
Look at the time factor. Some people have a time for now compared with daytime. Daytime they are busy with their job in the office and other things. But now I believe they have a time for what they actually wait for now.
Most of the times I'm a night scroller, so I really enjoy coming out at night. The night market is kind of a blessing.
Interesting scenario at the Gerkitsu night markets, occupying major streets, roadside and displaying mostly perishable products. This market operates throughout the day as residents say they are getting familiar with it.
We are just doing our business. Everything is moving majestically. We are selling in the night, not like in the afternoon.
Okay, so in the afternoon you don't sell?
We used to sell, but with the market we are getting is not as in the night.
And for residents living in communities in Nasarawa State and working in Abuja, the busy AYA night market is a saving grace to them. sited along their routes, which operate from 5 p.m. to 12 midnight, has made shopping convenient, especially with heavy gridlock.
So I reach down to the environment where I am, I cannot get what I want. So it's of help, very, very important.
We train our kids in school from night market proceeds. Despite attempts of the Abuja Environmental Protection Board to curb this trend, night trading in the city has continued to grow.
So while we are managing, they are still disturbing our life.
We need a place, yes, because I'm tired of this night on.
And we have not yet now sought for introducing night markets, but more markets are going to be open.
Night markets in Abuja, after all, is all about human interaction. And so the myth about trading with the evil spirit was never experienced.
3 minutes more, Joe.
No, you
and Oga the Laka.
For me and Oga?
You and Oga, if you reach your house.
Whether the spirits exist or not, as long as they stay invisible, there's nothing to fear. It's time again for some commercial messages. Stay with Newsline. One of Nigeria's foremost tourism TV show, Googie Africa, is 20. To mark this milestone, executive producers of the syndicated program are set to thrill the public with an assortment of entertaining activities that will span 1 year. This was revealed at an interactive session with the media in Lagos. Imole Ayo Tokede has details.
If you own a television set, then you must have heard this gripping sting. Yes, it is an exciting program where we visit exotic places in Africa and sometimes outside our continent, right in the comfort of our homes. Googie Africa is a tourism magazine program that captures the essence of diverse cultures.
20 years.
To make the celebration a resounding success, the couple behind the show review that they are partnering with different organizations, including the Nigerian Television Authority and Actors Guild of Nigeria. These will entail the unveiling of a television series titled 20 Most Visit Destinations in Nigeria.
I bet you in the 20-something years of our travels within and outside the country, there are places in Nigeria that still stand out.
We'll talk to our star actors and members who have very strong followership on the present day social media phenomena to be part of this partnership.
The duo disclosed that other activities include an art and writing contest, art exhibition, coffee table book, and a ship cruise to Badagry for Easter celebration.
Cruise tourism is the fastest growing arm of tourism now in the world.
Yeah.
And I don't see why we cannot exploit the waterways that Nigeria has.
Although no date has been fixed, they assured interested members of the public of a free tourism training for 50 selected young tourists to educate them on the entire tourism spectrum.
I will say congrats to Moses and Ineka. Now for some car talk. If you own a car or you are planning to get one, this should interest you. With the increasing rate of car theft, some car owners wish they could go to bed clutching their steering wheel in their hands. It's funny, but not funny, because after spending so much money on a decent automobile, it's heartbreaking to have it snatched away by criminals. Those who know will tell you that the trauma is better imagined than experienced. In this next one, Joseph Johnson seeks to examine the various ways to avoid being a victim of car theft and the plan that works best.
Bosede Abel is a happy lady, and this car is one of the things that makes her so. Like every car owner, Bosede loves to have so many things done to her beautiful machine, like having it washed when dirty, repaired when faulty, pimped up, and even more. But getting stolen is definitely not one of them.
I
have my lock, which I use, then I make sure I don't leave my car in a public open space, you know, where there are lots of cars and people, especially at occasions.
Just like other valued belongings, many people adopt many ways of securing their cars, from using pedal or steering wheel locks to remote control alarm system, car tracking security system, and many more. One protecting system that many do not give much thought about or know very little about is the car tracking security system. This helps to track and most likely have stolen car recovered. Amechi Ezeokoye is one of those who has experienced how it works, although it was an excruciating ordeal for him.
I've been hearing the story about car theft, and most people will not see their car again. So I said, so that's how we lost this. And this is the car we just brought. We have not even used for more than 2-3 months. I thank God to the tracking company that they are really wonderful, and all my cars are being tracked. In fact, after that, the remaining ones I said they must be tracked because honestly speaking, it's working.
Prince is an agent of car tracking security system. He says installing a tracking device in a car goes beyond prepping it in case of theft.
Now, installing a tracker, it has a GPS and GPRS component inside, which will be, it works with the SIM card, whereby we will be used to signalize and then connected to the satellite, transmits your car movement for real time, and then it has all the functions such as to shut down your car, restore. You can also listen to the conversation inside the car without the driver knowing.
So how much does it really cost to install a tracker?
To install a tracker will cost you not less than 35,000 naira.
Okay.
So imagine you spending 25,000 naira to secure something you bought over 1 million naira.
So how would you describe the business? Is it lucrative?
The business is lucrative, but when your clients, people that come to patronize us, know the worth, knows the value.
There is the argument about a possibility of car thieves outsmarting the car tracking system.
I don't use it. And the reason is that it's like you have to be connected, and it's a must. One have to pay for the services. And with the recent things that these global economic challenges of a thing, there are other things to think of.
Well, this is how the car tracking device looks like. Whether it is seen as a worthwhile precautionary measure or a waste of finances, or perhaps one's belief just opposes the act, well, whatever rocks the boat, always remember that safety comes first.
Thanks for that helpful tip, Joseph. Brilliant. I'll pause here for a break. Our last break. Stay with us.
Your information dey important, just like your identity. Now the only way we fit take hala you. Make you go browse easy.gotvafrica.com. Sign in with your IUC number and mobile number and scroll down to personal details and address. Then check well to see say everything bam. You fit change the one we not correct. To finish everything, just click the save button and it don't finish.
Thank you. I make sure say my phone number dey correct. That's now why GoTV fit call me, make I come collect my own awoof.
Angel, time for my phone in Hawaii because now my correct phone number dey for book.
GoTV, live it, love it.
Now look me again, no. Make you go do your own.
Have you not heard of coronavirus? Coronavirus? Yes, COVID-19. You know prevention is better than cure. Always have your hand sanitizer with you. Always remember to wash your hands regularly with soap and clean water. Yes. Whenever you want to sneeze or cough, you do it like this. Let's go. Fellow Nigerians, our culture and encourages cleanliness. Next ceremony.
This message is from NTA and NCAC.
A one-time general manager of NTA Benin, Chief Esosa Ewobamie, who never stopped contributing to the growth of the NTA even after retirement, has passed on. To honor his legacies, his family ensured that the funeral, which attracted dignitaries including the Director General of NTA, Yakubu Ibn Mohammed, was prestigious. Ife Uyahire will take us through the various ceremonies.
Chief Esosa Ewobamie spent over 30 years of his life in the Nigerian Television Authority as an engineer before he rose to the position of a general manager.
Across the bridge, there's no more sorrow. Across the bridge.
A service of songs at St. Paul's Catholic Church heralded the burial rites. The parish priest and others who came in contact with him extolled his qualities.
A man who was proud of his culture and proud of his faith was here every Sunday and every other major day or holy day of obligation that his health could permit him to come. And he loved dancing to the altar for thanksgiving and offering.
He's one of those persons that I always listen to, and he has a way of calling me and telling me, do it this way, do it that way, and everything he has told me come to pass.
Even though we know that death is the inevitable end of everybody, you still feel very sad and bad when you hear the loss of a dear one.
He was too straightforward for our generation.
The next day, his remains were taken to his church, where the President, Catholic Bishops' Conference of Nigeria, and Archbishop of Benin Metropolitan See, His Grace, Most Reverend Augustine Akubezi, officiated the funeral mass. Thereafter, his body was taken to his family compound for interment.
May his soul and the souls of all the faithful departed through the mercy of God rest in peace.
This life is o'er.
My daddy was a lovely man, he was a caring man.
The most lovely in love, I will say. A hard-working father, a man that lived a selfless life.
Epitome of all that is good in a man.
Family thereafter led palace chiefs, friends and well-wishers to a social gathering. The NTA family, past and present, led by the Director General, Yakubu Ibn Mohammed, represented by the Zonal Director, NTA Benin Network Center, Pauline Igbano, were on the ground to celebrate his life on earth, which they say was well spent.
He had this infectious mood that whenever you were in his company, you would just be happy too. But beyond that, after his retirement from NTA, he became a sort of ambassador for NTA, especially particularly NTA Benin.
A thanksgiving in his honor ended the funeral rites. Chief Esosa Ewobamie, before his death, was the Obobai IV of Benin Kingdom. He retired as a general manager NTA Benin in the year 2004. He is survived by a wife, children, and grandchildren.
A great man he was. May his soul rest in perfect peace. Amen. Newsline ends here this week. We shall be back on Sunday, same time. And I leave you with this. Wash your hands frequently and maintain social distancing. Good night and God bless Nigeria.